I got something to say about what's happening in the world right now with the fascist movement, and everybody needs to really pay attention. I am pissed. I am furious. And this has been going on a whole lot longer than everybody else. Listen to this. In May of 2000, I was at a 9/11 pre-event, okay, where there was a double agent by the name of Yusuf Memza, that later the government called a co-conspirator, two future terrorists that were going to fly the airplanes, that just got back from Florida flight school, and an FBI agent, and there was a disagreement. The double agent found out he was going to be the fall guy, and he was trying to whistleblow on the secret society and the groups, which you now know are behind Agenda 2025 and Trump. Okay? I was at this pre-event, and the double agent tried to hand me off all this large mound of evidence, and somehow he got a hold of this binder. Can you see this? It was about that thick, that had all the grand plans of world domination of these groups and this secret society. The FBI agent demanded that I destroy everything for nobody could find it. But before that happened, that FBI agent told me everything he possibly could as fast as he could as I looked through this humongous binder. And I was told it was worth more money than anything in the world. I refused to destroy the stuff. I was threatened with treason for not following orders. I had death threats put on me. I wound up being a monitored government witness, forced to be quiet. I knew about the plans for 9/11 and I couldn't say nothing. Anybody that I came in contact with, they knocked off. Did you hear that? A lot of people that was around me, just because they were around me and they were afraid I told them what was going to happen, they killed him. I asked for help. I asked for help beforehand, before 9/11 first, and I was told, shut up, Lynn, shut up. If you know what's good for you, shut up. After 9/11, the monitoring still went on, up until shortly after the 9/11 committee hearings. And I sent emails to senators like Bernie Sanders, right? And you know what I got? Shut up, Lynn, shut up. We're not going to help you, Lynn, shut up. You got that? There's more to this. Okay, listen very, very closely. So, before that 9/11 pre-event, I had just left one job and started a new one. I was doing security for a company that melted down currency for the federal mint. Okay, I think I say it was a great job, okay, but it was a job, okay? But I was and turned down a job being a security advisor overseas in South Korea, all to get an online business started. Okay? I was going to call it My Journey, a social site to bring the world to my paralyzed friend, okay, for she had fewer barriers and more opportunities, and it was going to fund free clinics and shelters and employ the disabled. So it was going to work around them instead of them having to work around the job. Okay? But when I got involved with the 9/11 pre-event and the plans for the world domination, when they were monitoring my phone and my internet, they learned of it and they took an interest in it. In the plans, I wrote that this group and the groups and the secret society behind everything cannot get control of it because they can use it to overthrow governments, start wars, be the ultimate propaganda machine and spy program. And then, when the committee hearings are coming to an end, I can start being around people again. I had to do anything to make money. And I live in a small town of Central City, Iowa, where there's a big park right over here. A lot of campers. A lot of them. And the county wanted them, removed. So people started offering me the campers, and I started parting them out. No, I didn't make much money doing it, but it was something. It kept me busy. And I met Marcel Elliott Zuckerberg and Eduardo Severin. Mark had just gotten in trouble at Harvard. And he went to Iowa. He's got relatives here in Iowa, if you didn't know. And he's going to take classes at Iowa State after he got in trouble, and he bought himself a school bus. Eduardo Severin and Mark came to my home to see if I had what I had, so Mark could convert the school bus into something he could live out of at college at the relative's house next to Iowa State. I agreed to let him come back the next holiday weekend with the bus and his girlfriend, Priscilla Chan, and a dog, and stay here. While here, I learned he was in the same hacking club as one of my friends that I was trying to get to help me do the coding for this site, and he wouldn't do it. Mark learned what I was trying to do. He offered to help me do the coding. But then, as Mark learns more about it, Mark Howitson gets involved. Okay, remember that name? That's Mark's personal friend and mentor that became his lawyer. Okay? Then it got switched around. Mark, instead of being a partner for doing the coding, he wants to pay me to use my intellectual work because Mark Howitson and Mark Zuckerberg also found out that plan that I created to create the site, when it's up and running, can be used to overthrow governments. Hear that? The ultimate propaganda machine, the ultimate spy program, and it can manipulate the stock market. Okay? They approached me to enter into an agreement. Mark and I hashed it out. An agreement was done. Mark tried to back out of it. He wanted me to say on recording, like we're doing right now, a video recording with his new Sony CD camera, that I gave my intellectual work to him and all rights to it. And I said, oh, hell no. And then he said, well, if you ain't going to do that, then this is done because I don't want anybody to know I didn't create it. Okay? Last day, he stole everything. But the government didn't realize it until after he left my home that he didn't just steal those plans. He stole some of the national security secrets, some of that evidence that I was hanging on to. And he stole plans and designs for other things. Mark Howitson helped him get patents on my work. Okay. Oh, well, wait a minute. Let's back up here. But when he got back to Harvard, he left. He was registered to take classes at Iowa State, and he left. And he went back to Harvard. Okay. Saying, oh, look, somebody gave me, I'm so great. Somebody gave me the plans for $1 billion internet social site and so on. Oh, I'm so lucky. But it wasn't given to him. He ripped it off from my home. Okay. Well, there's a good and a bad. He sold national security secrets. He sold the plans. I'm not happy. Government's not happy. The secret society, they're happy. Because they got it away from me. The spoiled, rotten brats got it then. Right? Okay, so Mark slowly starts using my work. His friends start stealing from my intellectual work out of my notebook that was in my portfolio too. Okay? So then the Facebook battle starts, right? Now, everything gets confused on everybody because Mark was trying to confuse everyone to hide it all, okay? The Facebook was a program that he did, okay? It was a directory. Then there was Facebook wrote in one way. Then there was Facebook, the name, created in a different way. You got it? Okay? But when the Facebook battle began, Mark Howitson and Mark Zuckerberg called me demanding that I give him a statement. That I gave him that intellectual work all the rights to it, and I instructed Mark to create a new creation history, and if I wouldn't do it, they were going to create a recording. They argued with me and argued with me and argued with me as I had 5 people listening to that phone call. Until they claimed they got me to say something out of context. And the lawyer goes, "We got it! No, hang up the phone. We don't need him anymore." The case was settled with recording of me. You got that? Mark Zuckerberg never created that intellectual work. He stole it from my home along with those national security secrets. You got that? After it was done, after they did that, the case was sealed, which the groups and the secret society embedded into the government made sure that nobody would ever know that it was me, that he got it from. Why? Because they don't want anybody to know about me, because if they know about me, then they know about, I just speak up and I talk about that 9/11 pre-event and those grand plans. You starting to catch on? Where does Zuckerberg go? Hold on a second, we gotta back up again. Then they created that social network book and movie, which is misplaced facts with facts missing. Because if it was real, right, and true to the history, the timeline, it would include him going to Iowa State after getting in trouble, buying a school bus, right? Eduardo Severin and Mark coming to my home, and then Priscilla Chan and Mark saying weekend and ripping me off. Doesn't include it in the book, right? See, it's fake. All right, so then where does he go? Where does Mark go? He goes to the person that helps him. He goes to Russia and goes and sees Putin. Did you hear that? And what about Mark Howitson? Mark Howitson suddenly started working for the Rothschilds. Right? Now, I know this is going a long ways here, but listen to this. The Democrats. I am so freaking pissed. I have been asking help all these years. You know what? I counted on my work bringing me a return so I could afford to live. To help my friend so maybe she could walk again. Right? And then while I got ripped off and shut up, Lynn, don't say anything, and the death threats and people are dying, while I was at a hospital, I almost died from a neurotoxin, which I think somebody tried to kill me. So I have now, I'm up and walking, but you can see I can't really stay still, because eventually I get kind of like I'm drunk and I want to fall over. I have Embry-Dreyfus muscular dystrophy, Sjogren's, and Meniere's. I have no income. None. Okay? I've been fighting over the years to prove what happened. Right? Sending emails and letters to the Democrats. Shut up, Lynn. Shut up. And 21. My lawyer said, it's your last chance. Don't go after Mark. You go after Howitson. Well, guess what? I got witnesses. I got recordings. I got enough to prove without any doubt that Mark Howitson instructed Mark Zuckerberg to commit intellectual property theft and fraud. And the two of them did it together. What happened? They found the witnesses. They started paying them off. One of the witnesses called me and said, you know what, Lynn, they offered me more money than winning the ultimate lottery. That was an Iowa State trooper. Within an hour of telling me that, he died. Within 1 hour after he was killed, listen to that, I got an email from the Supreme Court in California. Lynn, your witnesses are all gone. Your last one's dead. You don't have a case. It wasn't even on the news yet that he died. Are you starting to catch on? We got the presidential election that got Trump in, right? Listen very closely. I knew that they were going to use Facebook to push propaganda, the Russians, to get Trump in. I knew it. I knew exactly what they did. In fact, I knew all about those grand plans, you remember? Oh, you'd be shocked at what I know. So I'm trying my best to get the FBI to help me out with Mark. And I'm contacting the FBI too over what's going to happen and the White House. What do I get? I get a call from the FBI. Lynn, lay off. Just shut up. I get a call from the White House. Lynn, lay off on Mark Zuckerberg, exposing him for the intellectual property theft and fraud. And you quit exposing national security secrecy if you know what's best for you. That was the White House with Biden in office. I'm absolutely ashamed. If you would have listened to me, paid attention, and exposed Mark Zuckerberg ripping me off in a secret society, it would have given you a link closer to what is happening, for you knew what was going on. Then you could have shut down the site, for at least till the election was over with, found an excuse, and we wouldn't have the mess that we're having now. But you wouldn't listen to me. You wouldn't listen. But now we're here.